Stay up on the latest this hurricane season. Please subscribe for future updates.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Weather Nerds YouTube channel. I'm your host, Greg Majeski, your personal weatherman, here with the 5 o'clock update on Hurricane Ernesto. As we're looking at the infrared imagery here, it's been kind of holding its own all day today. The pressures have been steadily falling, but the winds have been slow to respond to this, partially because I think we got a little bit of dry air intrusion that's kind of got into the core of this hurricane. It does look like an eye is starting to try to form on this system as it's continuing to move off toward the north. Here's a better perspective here on the visible satellite imagery, and you kind of see it's very symmetrical, very organized looking storm, very healthy looking. And it finally looks like we got a little bit of an eye here starting to form here. Once that eye starts to form, it'll start to strengthen. But because it's been delayed in its strengthening throughout the day today, the National Hurricane Center has backed off the forecast strength on this system. Now, here is the current path projection. This is a live shot here from Bermuda, and boy, they're looking at some very rough conditions that'll be coming in here as we go into the day on Saturday. Now, it's interesting, Bermuda hasn't taken a direct hit from a hurricane in about 10 years. There were a couple of them, Faye and a G-storm, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, that hit here back in 2014. So it's been about 10 years since they've taken a direct hit. They've had a couple of them that have gone by there, but this thing's forecast to get very close. So that means that the center of circulation, an eye, may go right over the island of Bermuda. Now, of course, you got this cone of uncertainty in here, so any kind of wobble to the left or the right can make a big difference on whether they get in the eye wall or if they don't. But right now, it's continuing to forecast to move in this direction and should be pretty close to about 110 mile per hour winds while it's bearing down on Bermuda. Then, as it continues northward, it'll continue should begin to weaken as it picks up by the westerlies here and kind of accelerates it across the northern Atlantic. So as of the 5 o'clock advisory is at 26.1 north and 68.9 west. Maximum sustained winds at 85. But these should start to go down here for tonight. The pressure really supports a strong Category 2 than what we're seeing right now with Category 1. So I think we'll start seeing this begin to see the winds start to come up here for the overnight hours. Here's all the tracks again. Everybody in pretty good agreement here is we're going to take this thing and just really accelerate here across the northern Atlantic as it gets caught up in the westerlies and becomes extratropical at that point. Strength-wise, we're going to strengthen it to a Cat 2 again. We're going to back that off to when we thought we were going to get a Cat 3, but it looks like we're going to get a Cat 2 here. It's just one of those things you can't exactly forecast some of the dry air intrusion that can get into a system, because that can really throw a monkey wrench in this, and that's what happened with this storm. So good news, obviously, for Bermuda. You don't want to get this thing to be too big or too powerful to go over that little island there. All right, so here's what one of the hurricane models here, very similar to what the tracks they were showing you, is it's going to the north here, drops the pressure down to about 960 or so millibars here, and then it starts to accelerate out. Now it's currently sitting at about 971, so looks like it'll get down to at least that, maybe slightly stronger. We'll see what happens here, but it's going to get very close to the island of Bermuda. This one shows it going right over the center there and then really taking a turn there. Now, I have seen the Weather Service put this out. I've been mentioning it for a few days. Rip currents up and down the eastern seaboard are going to be a problem for this weekend. So I've been saying this on all my reports. If you're planning on taking a beach weekend, I don't care if you're going from Jacksonville, Florida, all the way up to the Jersey Shore, please make sure you take a look at those beach conditions, as there'll be some heavy surf and rip currents will be a problem. So please check ahead and protect your families if you're planning on going up anywhere up and down from the Florida coast all the way up into New Jersey. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the model latest data here. This is the European model here. We're going to take a look at this storm and see if there's anything new coming at us here for the next 10 days. So again, watch that timestamp there in your upper right-hand corner as we're going to watch this hurricane get pretty close to the Isle of Bermuda as we go into late Friday and going into Saturday, get really close there. What's picking this storm up right here is you've got this pretty good trough here that's coming in from the west, and it's going to pick this storm up and accelerate it out. Here is our Azores high, or sometimes when it's further off toward the west of Bermuda high, it's kind of going around the periphery of this, so it's making that turn around the periphery of that high pressure system. And as that storm goes off toward the north, I think the ridge is going to start to extend back off to the west into a more typical position that we'll see there. So there goes the storm going up into the northern Atlantic. That trough kicks it up, and it really accelerates. Notice how fast, as we go into early next week, it really starts to accelerate out and kicks on across the northern Atlantic. Now, as far as anything else, of course, we're looking down here toward the intertropical convergence zone. You're seeing some activity down here, a couple of areas to kind of watch. But for right now, the European model is not showing anything kind of coming at us for right now. So as I take this out to the end of its 10-day run, it looks like a little piece of energy here in the middle of the Atlantic to kind of watch. You see a little cluster right there. Got a little cluster here off into the Bahamas to watch, but nothing imminent as far as development is concerned at this time. As I go ahead and take this out to the end of its run. And well, again, nothing showing of a new depression or storm coming out behind this as we head toward August the 25th. I do not believe that will be the case. I do not believe it's going to stay that way much longer, simply because the conditions out into the Atlantic are going to get much improved over the coming weeks. I've been showing this pretty regularly. This is the Saharan dust layer, kind of a forecast model, goes out for about 10 days. And the one thing that you notice is how much Saharan dust has been out there, and right now the result is for this continue to diminish as we go over time. It's been extremely dusty for a probably extended long period of time, going back to about the first week of July, and it's been this way for about a little over a month now, about 5 weeks now, with a lot of Saharan dust. And Saharan dust is a big inhibitor for tropical development. It's dusty, it's hot, it's dry. It really kind of saps the energy out of any of those tropical waves. But that is going to be getting on out of the way, and with all the latent heat that's still out in the tropics, we're going to see things begin to fire up here pretty rapidly. That's what the Global Tropics Hazard Outlook, which was issued a couple of days ago, continues to reflect here. They update this every week. And so as you can see right now, we're looking at 2 areas to watch as we head from, say, the 25th to the 27th, because right now the European's not really showing anything. But say the tail end of this run, you're seeing maybe about a 40% chance of seeing something into that area there. And then as we go into the last week of August, going into the first week of September, it jumps to about a 60% chance in that zone as we head into the start of September, which of course is really getting toward the peak of the hurricane season. That's when things really get hot and heavy, as the peak of the season is right there around September the 10th. And, and it's between August 20th and October 10th that we get 2/3 of our activity. That things really start ratcheting up. We still got about 85% of tropical activity still in front of us, and of course we're on our E-storm, and we'll see if we run out of letters a little bit later this hurricane season. All right, that is your update for now. And again, if you guys have not subscribed yet to the channel, please consider to do so. I'm going to be heading out of town for a few days, but I'll be back in here once again on Monday, and I'll be tracking see how things are going out in the tropics. And you can get my tropical shorts, which are like 1-minute update things you can have for your YouTube feed. All you got to do, please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you'll learn on future content. And as always, if you got any feedback, I'd like to hear from you as well. All right, that's it, guys. You take it easy. We'll see you next time. Until then, be good, stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.